What's going on, YouTubers? It's Devin here with BeastAesthetics, and it is finally time to make this long overdue video talking about my recent show, the 2016 Prestige Crystal Cup in Boca Raton, Florida. But before I get into that, I want to give a big thank you to all the organizers, head judges, and staff behind the scenes that ran this contest. It ran really smoothly, and I believe it had well over 200 competitors, and the show didn't end till like 1 in the morning or something like that. But no complaints here. Every athlete deserves all the time on stage that they can get, and that's what happened at this show. So thanks again, and I'll also thank my family, especially my father and my mother, for having to deal with me throughout my entire prep, and also my boy Raphael from RZ Fitness TV for coming out to support me as well and helping film. So let's get into peak week for the show, leading up to the contest, my thoughts at the show, and my future goals that are happening right now as we speak. So let's bring it back to peak week. Macros, cardio, and my thoughts and feelings on the show. So peak week was a lot different than my previous contests. Well, because I haven't competed in 3 years, since 2013, and I am a lot bigger than I was back then. Back then I was weighing like 165 pounds stage weight. Now I officially weighed in at 180 pounds the day before, carbing up. So I really don't know exactly how much I weighed the day of the show. I didn't weigh myself, but I'm assuming on stage I was probably around 180 to 182 pounds. So the low 180s, and the lowest I got actually was during peak week, was 176 pounds. That was morning weight. My gym weight was roughly around probably what my stage weight was, like 182. Macros leading up to the show. Prior to peak week, I think I was eating roughly 100 fat, 350 carbs, 250 protein, which I believe is just under 3,500 calories. Peak week, I lowered my carbs slightly on Sunday and Monday to, I believe, like 300. So my total calories for that day were right around 3,200-ish. I kept the fat and the protein the same. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I kind of just played around my carbs. I had a super high carb day on Tuesday, like 500 something carbs that day, and then I tapered it down to like 450 the next day, and then I think around 400 on Thursday. And then the day before the show, Friday, I had 500 carbs because I was just feeling super lean. I didn't gain any weight that week, so I just said, you know what, I'm gonna just fill up more. I'm feeling a little too flat. So up the carbs to 500 that day. Fat was also up a little bit to like 120 that day, and protein was dropped a little bit just because of the food choices I had. So all in all that day, I had around 3,700 calories, I think, or 3,800 calories. The morning of the show, I think I slammed, I want to say 250 carbs before stepping on stage, and roughly 70 grams of fat, probably like 100 protein, I'm guessing. So within a 24-hour time span from Friday morning to Saturday morning, the day of the contest, I had roughly 750 to 800 carbs within a 24-hour time span. Water intake throughout peak week was pretty much the same, like 2 gallons. The day of the show, obviously, I didn't try to drink 2 gallons of water just because I didn't want to run around backstage looking for a bathroom every 30 minutes. So I probably only had, I'd say, probably 3/4 of a gallon to a gallon of water that day in general. So I did lower my water intake, but I wasn't trying to. That's just how it was. On stage, I felt great. I actually had poison ivy 2 days prior. I went to the river on Thursday just to do some cardio for some fun with my friends. And I ended up getting poison ivy like literally on 90% of my body. I had it on every single limb, my legs, my face, my wrists, my delt, my stomach, my upper traps, like everywhere. But thank God the tanning product that I used covered it up pretty much 100%. And I actually wasn't able to get as dark as I wanted just because I was scared that using more tanning product was just going to irritate the poison ivy, which was already irritated from the tanning product. So that was really the only thing the head judge had to critique myself on. As I asked him after the show, is there anything I can work on? He said, honestly, you are the definition of classic physique. Your physique resembles Frank Zane, the vacuum pose and everything. And the only thing I have to tell you is to be just a little darker for your next show. That's all he told me. He didn't tell me I needed to get leaner or bigger or work on my posing. He literally just said, just come in darker for your next show. And that to me is honestly mind-blowing, because I thought, I'm my biggest critic, I guess. Yeah, I believe that I need bigger lats, bigger arms, need to come in sharper, need to obviously be darker as well, but I didn't think that the head judge was just going to tell me I just need to get darker for my next contest, so it was kind of mind-blowing to me. And yeah, so that affected how I definitely could have probably placed better, I guess, at a higher level show, like a national show. So there's definitely room for improvement for the next show, obviously. Get tanner, get a little bit leaner, and perfect my posing even better. There's always ways you can improve, no matter what. Even if the head judge tells you you're perfect, there's something you can do, in my opinion, that can better yourself for the next contest. So, that's what happened at the show. Now, after the show, for the past 6 weeks, I've been kind of just enjoying life, I guess, more or less. I've been eating more food, tracking less macros, doing food challenges, obviously, if you guys have seen, and traveling a lot around Florida to multiple springs that I've never been to. Filmed a few of those for you guys as well. You guys have probably seen those videos I posted. And definitely slacked off on cardio, definitely slacked off on posing practice, but I felt like my body needed that 6-week break. I don't want to say I was bulking for 6 weeks, but I did end up gaining like 6 pounds morning weight. I went from like 176 morning weight to roughly 182 morning weight right before I started my diet 3 days ago, which is what I want to get into talking about now. So, as of Friday of this past week, I am officially 10 weeks out from my first ever national show. I'm going to be competing at nationals November 17th and 18th in Miami, Florida, to try to attempt to win my IFBB Classic Physique Pro card. Now, I believe I have to place either first or second to get that pro card, and honestly, guys, going into my last show, my main goal was just to qualify for nationals. Like most national qualifiers, you have to place first to third to qualify for nationals. So in my head, I said, you know what, if I can just get third for my class, I'd be happy. I ended up winning my class, winning the best posing award, and then winning the overall best classic physique at my first national qualifying show. It was too good to be true. One of those feelings that I can't really describe. 10 months of hard work leading up to the show just to end up doing way better than I expected. Looking back at that, contest, it's just kind of like a fairy tale to me, because I thought with having the poison ivy and not being as dark as I should have been and all those other factors coming into play, I thought, at best I was going to do third place in my class, not win my class, win the best posing award, and then win the overall. So it's just still shocking to me, like thinking about how that all went down. And it definitely gave me the confidence that I needed to finally, just say, you know what, I'm ready for a national show. The judges think I am, and I personally feel ready. I don't feel burnt out from 10 months of dieting. I had a 6-week break to, eat foods I wasn't able to. I did some food challenges like old times and got to travel a lot. And now I am feeling great at the start of this prep at 10 weeks out. Things are going to be a little bit different for this prep. I'm going to actually try to eat more food leading up to the show. Come in a little bit leaner, obviously a little bit darker, and not get poison ivy 2 days prior to the contest. So the goal leading up to this show for 10 weeks out, since at 10 weeks out I was roughly weighing a little bit heavier than I was now at 10 weeks out. So I'm ahead of the game already, which is good, because I want to come in weighing probably 174 pounds during peak week on average, which puts me about a kilo lighter or 2 pounds lighter than I was my last show, which means obviously I'll be leaner. And I actually think I put on a slight bit of muscle these past 6 weeks, just gauging by how my lifts have gone up. My lifts haven't skyrocketed, obviously, with 6 weeks of training, but they actually went up a good amount, almost back to all-time PR strength numbers. This week I squatted 325 pounds for 8 reps high bar, which I believe ties my all-time strongest 8 rep set for high bar. I pulled 495 for 5 on deadlifts, and I'm probably going to pull 495 for 6 on deadlifts this week, just gauging by how I felt last week, which would tie my all-time best PR. And my bench has gone up roughly 10 pounds on my 8 to 10 rep work sets. So I'm feeling stronger everywhere. My legs definitely feel like they grew a little bit just from like slacking off the cardio. And you know, I'm just sitting in a really good spot for 10 weeks out right now. My conditioning feels on point for this far out. As of today, I weighed 180 pounds morning weight, so I'm about 2 pounds down already with my new macros, which are also higher than they were 10 weeks out from my last show. So my current macros I'm going to keep, I think, for at least the time being until something dramatic either happens. If I don't, you know, lose weight, I'll drop them, or if I gain weight, I'll obviously will drop them. And if I drop too much weight, I'll either up them or have a big refeed depending on just how I feel. But as of right now, I'm eating 110 fat a day on average, 400 carbs, 250 protein. This is roughly slightly over 3,500 calories a day. And I dropped down from 182 to 180 in just 3 days eating those macros, while also introducing cardio back into my routine. And my cardio is going to be the same as it was my last prep. All I'm going to do is 20 minutes of Stairmaster every other day to maybe every other third day. So like pretty much 2 to 3 times per week. And then I'll probably up that slightly towards the show, up that to maybe 4 sessions a week, and then maybe 5, just depending on how I'm feeling conditioning wise. And posing is going to be the same, 20 minutes every single day. With the exception of maybe taking 1 or 2 days off a week, but pretty much every single training day I'm going to do as much posing practice as I can, which usually is only 20 minutes before I'm burnt out. And that's how I did my last contest prep, and this is how I'm going to get ready for this contest. So I'm not really changing much besides the fact that I'm eating more, and I'm just going to be on point more. I'm not going to cheat. There were several times during my last prep that I did cheat on my diet. It wasn't nothing crazy, but it was probably, I'd say, something that would slow down my progress 3 to 4 days. I am not going to let this happen for this prep. I am definitely going into this prep all or nothing, pretty much. I'm giving it my all. I'm going to go 110%, no cheats. I don't plan on being distracted or sidetracked or anything for this contest. I'm going to put in more work and effort towards this than I ever have for any show in my entire life, because this is a big contest and I'm in the big leagues now, guys. The NPC compares, they don't play around. A lot of people think that it's not possible to do well in the NPC as a natural athlete, and I'm here to prove them wrong. I proved all those people wrong. My last show, they thought that I could never place top 3 at a national qualifier as a natural. I proved them wrong by winning the whole thing. So I'm going to try to prove, once again, everyone who doesn't believe in me that they're wrong, and I'm going to place top 3 at a national show. It might not be this show, but it will happen, guys. So stay tuned, and that's all I really got to say. As always, I appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next video. As always, bros, peace out. Deuces. Boom. It's coming, bros.